Welcome back to another episode of the Enterprise Confessional, and this is a cliffhanger episode because the tea has been piping hot already, and I know we just started season 2. I have some amazing guests lined up. I just want to shout out November is a big deal for me because this week we are celebrating International Stress Awareness Day. Now, I decided to expand on that and highlighted the entire month. And what I have done is I have invited life coaches and licensed therapists on to have these hard conversations about what it really takes to become a enterprise owner and also how to protect your mental health and enforce boundaries. So today's cliffhanger episode is going to be really, really juicy and really fun and straight to the point. You do not have an idea problem. You have an implementation problem. So over the last 90 days, I've been in rooms with high-level leaders, multi-million-dollar founders, and executors. And the one thing that they all have in common, they move very fast. Now, granted, when we see online, like how it's like this weird narrative, right? The tortoise wins the race. And I feel like we have to be careful with that mindset because what will happen is you will actually become comfortable when you're supposed to be moving, when you're supposed to be implementing. And this is a very interesting take. And so that's why I wanted to do this episode for you guys today, because I want to share gems that I have learned over the last 90 days. Here is one truth that I have learned about execution. So most entrepreneurs, business owners, or creators, people who are in a situation or a season where they're like, you know what, I need to do more. I have these ideas. Many people sit in that and they collect their ideas like trophies, but they never actually take them to the field. They never actually implement. So implementation is what separates momentum from mediocrity, point blank, period. There's a real gap between where you are and where you want to be. And it's not a over learning of knowledge. It's actually execution. Every single person that I have ever worked with that has been successful with my brand development frameworks is the people that implement fast. So they waste no time after we finish a workshop, a coaching session, a call. They literally implement the material immediately. And on the flip side, like everybody else, you hear of people who will pay for services and they won't execute on anything. I'm literally experiencing right now watching a coaching program take place, and the people are in there and they're not implementing everything that's being said. This is very common, actually, and a lot of coaches and consultants have clients that they can attest to this. Like, they have had situations where people will pay, I'm talking about thousands of dollars, like 3K, 5K, 10K, and they still won't implement. But what's crazy is it's like the more that people pay, the more that people will pay attention and the more that they will actually implement. I want to share a personal reflection about this because as someone who used to do that, as someone who now is in the shoes of the person who is coaching and, giving people value and showing them the level of transformation that happens, I have personally experienced now what it means to have clients who will pay for something and not implement. And what's happening is they get into this overthinking mode. They want to understand the whys and the hows and all of this. And what's crazy is when I go back and I look at the high level rooms now that I'm in, they don't waste their time on non-fruit producing activities. They don't waste their time overthinking. They don't waste their time trying to figure out all the nooks and crannies and all of that. They literally are just there to get the transformation by implementing, and that's it. They learn, implement, fail, and they go back at it again. And this is going to bring me into the next point that I wanted to share with you guys. Failing fast in those types of rooms is not viewed as a loss. It's actually data collection. And this is a conversation that I actually just had this week with my accountability group. And we were talking about how you have to take the emotions out of failing. You have to take out yourself. Like, it's not personal when you fail. It doesn't mean that you're not good at what you do. It doesn't mean that you're not a genius. It just means, hey, I made a mistake here. All right, bet. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's go back and try again. And it's so crazy because now it has been 10 years since I took my first leap of faith. And I can honestly say I see exactly why my journey is the way it is now. Is because I have genuinely stopped taking anything personal. I don't take it personal when a client doesn't implement what I'm saying. I don't take it personal when somebody doesn't agree with my framework. I don't take it personal when somebody tells me that something is not going to work. I don't take any of these things personal because at the end of the day, business is business and it's just data collection. That's it. Also, I wanted to add this as well. Speed does not equate to recklessness. It means trusting your preparation. Let me repeat that for y'all that's in the back. Speed does not always equal recklessness. It actually can mean trusting your preparation. So, for example, if you have done the pre-work to launch your business, if you have done the pre-work to the thing that you're getting ready to launch into, great. Now we can speed that thing up. We don't have to sit here and take all this extra time. And because what happens is when you're doing something new, it's foreign to your body. It's foreign to your mind. And this is a great conversation around your nervous system, retraining your nervous system and understanding that your brain wants to keep you safe. And I would implore you to really go and do some deep diving about the neuroscience and what your brain is actually meant to do as a human being. Like inside of your body, it's meant to keep you safe, right? So the faster that you do something, the less intimidating that thing will be. A lot of people's silent weapon that they have right now in their lives is their minds. Their minds will literally like reaffirm all these fearful thoughts and, oh, what if this happens? What if I fail here? You know, what if I lose that? Like all these things that really do not matter. Again, reminding yourself your brain is meant to keep you safe. So it's going to tell you to not do these things to keep you comfortable, to keep you in a safe space. And this is why jumping into how important proximity is. When you're around more and more executors, it truly changes how you think. I have noticed over the last 90 days, I make decisions so much faster, y'all. It's already insane. And what's crazy is the people that I used to surround myself with, like they were telling me back then, actually, that I made decisions fast. Well, now that I'm in another room where they make decisions even faster than who I used to be, now I'm seeing that my decisions have actually sped up as well. Now it really doesn't take me long to make a decision about anything, whether it be my personal or my professional life. This is why I've been able to attack some of my goals that used to take me a year. Now it's taking me 90 days, 6 months, 30 days, a week. Like, it's so crazy. You end up actually collapsing time when you really, really understand how your mind works and how the nervous system works. I wanted to leave you off with this. If failure was not final, how many of your ideas would already be done? And we're going to go into the next segment of this. Implementation over information. Okay? Implementation over information. You do not need another course, coach, or plan. You need momentum. I'm going to scream this from mountaintops for the remainder of the year. If you are not already following me on socials, you're going to really, really see what I'm talking about in these episodes and also on social media. Please drop me a follow. I will literally have my platforms linked in this episode because this is really juicy and y'all are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Stop buying more courses. You don't need them. Okay, it's okay if you're a part of communities that already include courses, but stop buying new things that you know you're going to take forever and a day to implement. Join communities that have high execution rates. Join communities where you're rubbing shoulders with people who think faster than you and act faster than you. I promise you, this is how you collapse time and you will meet your revenue goals immediately. So the 3 quick self-check questions for my listeners, I want y'all to really write this down. How many ideas have you sat on this week? The second one is, how many of those actually require perfection before movement? So there's some things that could kind of, get a head start on to perfect. But at the end of the day, again, my platform is based around, it's not meant for it to be perfect. Okay, get started, get the momentum going, and implement. And the third thing is, what could you execute this week with what you already have? I'll give you a play that I actually gave one of the retired beauty pros that I am in collaboration with. She has literally cracked the code on credit and funding for beauty pros. She's in a space right now where she no longer wants to specialize in that. She's actually in the process of being rebranded right now. And I told her this play right here. I said, every single thing that I have ever taught over my past 10 years, everything that I have ever learned, each of those seasons of my career are classes or frameworks. Okay? And this is a major gem for somebody who feels like, I need to create this new thing. I need to create a course. I can't get started because I don't have this complete. Wrong. There's somebody that's coming up behind you that has no clue about the first step or the second step. You're all the way on step 10, but you're worrying about completing all the way up to step 15 before you put something out. That makes 0 sense. There's people out here still to this day who do not understand how to navigate Instagram. As you have seen, with the way the world is moving, so many people are moving so fast that they're forgetting about the little people who are a beginner, who don't even understand how to navigate social media. They don't even understand how to make a Facebook post, an Instagram post, a reel. Ask me how I know. I'll wait, because I have some of those clients right now. I have clients right now that I have coached this year alone who do not even understand how to schedule a social media post. They have no clue about how to navigate social media platforms from their phone. This right here is a game changer, and I know I just set somebody free. Get out of your head and get on paper. There is something right now that you could sell that you have already mastered, and you're literally probably wondering, how am I going to make my rent money? How am I going to pay these bills? How am I going to make Christmas happen? All these things. And it is because you guys really have to get into a space where you get offline and stop looking at what everybody else is doing and how advanced they are. You will actually do more on paper if you realize you have something that you could already sell. So this is my cue that I want to leave off on. The fastest way to clarity is action. So you learn more in motion than you ever will in your mind. Get out of your mind and get on your paper. So the next time that you say you're waiting for the right time or the right team, or, you're waiting until you make all this money, it's never going to happen until you get in the field and implement. So I need you to ask yourself this. Are you actually out of ideas, or are you out of excuses to actually implement them? Okay, I will see you on the next episode with our amazing guests. See you later.